Secretary, thanks for joining us today. Good to have you back.
Glad to be here. It's a great day for Americans.
So I guess I've never asked you. I mean, where do you stand on EVs to begin with? Do you like them? Do you think there's a place for them?
Oh, absolutely a place for them. I love technology and I love innovation. But like with everything else, it should be consumer choice. They have great advantages and they got big disadvantages. But let Americans decide which trade-offs they want to make.
Now, why was this mandate in California such an issue? Why was it a bad thing?
It was a bad thing because many other states, progressive states across our country, have chosen to tie their regulations to California's regulations. So you've got well over a dozen states that follow a separate set of regulations than the rest of our states in our country. And if you're in the auto industry, you got to be able to sell cars to all Americans. So this was forcing our whole industry to phase out internal combustion engines and only build EVs going forward, even though consumers have voted loudly that that's not what they want to do.
Okay, so the ending of this California EV mandate includes overturning the Clean Air Act, ending the 2035 deadline to sell only ZEVs, stops small governments from only buying EVs. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is promising to fight this decision, saying last month that he plans to sue once the Trump team signs these resolutions. Also, Gavin Newsom's office, the governor of the state, said the state is ready to defend its rules. To them, you say what?
Yeah, well, of course they'll sue and they'll fight. California's got a long history of trying to tell people how to live their lives and what trade-offs to make. I mean, that's why they've had population outflow and the highest adjusted poverty rate of any state in the nation. But ultimately, they'll lose that litigation. They were granted by Congress a right to have their own separate regulations a while ago. And the Congress has realized they've abused that authority to the destruction of our auto industry and to the shrinkage of choice for Americans. And Congress voted to remove their special privilege to make their own regulations. I think it's pretty black and white.
Okay, so this is just in our Fox Business team has just sent this over now, Mr. Secretary, that California, about which we were just speaking, and 10 other states now, this just in, are filing lawsuits to block President Trump's 3 signings today to reverse the electric vehicle mandates. Your reaction?
Those are the states that signed on to follow the California regulations. So it's all basically one pool of states that have all signed on to follow California's regulations. And California did have the legal authority to make their own air regulations. I think that was crazy to begin with, but they were given that authority. And Congress, both houses of Congress, and now signed by the president, removed that special authority they were granted. They abused that authority, and they got away from special worries about local air quality in California, and they got into their climate alarmist politics, their top-down control of citizens, and they lost that right.
Okay, so yeah, just so you know, California, Colorado, Delaware, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington among those states that are filing lawsuits. Mr. Secretary, perhaps if gas prices get back to those historically low levels, people won't be turning to the EVs as much. I guess that's how the marketplace would eventually work itself out if it was an open market system without mandates. So what can you tell us about gas prices? AAA reporting $3.12 is the national average. Where do they go from here? What can you guys do to get more oil out there and bring those prices down?
Well, today, where they are, if you inflation adjust it, gasoline prices are the lowest they've been in 20 years at the start of the summer driving season. So gasoline prices are actually in a pretty good place today. That's with the exception of the COVID year, where we had a huge dislocation. But of course, everyone loves lower gasoline prices, and I get it. President Trump has been delivering on that agenda, and I think his policies will keep gasoline prices low and modest. The $5 a gallon gasoline we had 2 or 3 years ago, you're not going to see that under this president. He's going to keep gasoline and diesel prices, ultimately home heating oil prices, and electricity prices down. A lot of those take time to do it, but everything President Trump is doing is going to push down the price of energy. That's a win for Americans.
This isn't me asking you for a prediction, but what's your target? You obviously are working the numbers. You're looking at oil production, and you're looking at what is possible. You know, what's the Trump administration's goal for gas prices? Can you give us one?
Well, I would say the most affordable possible. It's hard to get gasoline prices meaningfully below where they are today because oil prices, if they go much lower than where they are today, it becomes not profitable for production in the United States. We're already seeing a little bit of that, of less drilling activity. So I think the president's done a fabulous job pushing oil prices down to probably near the lower end of the bound that it economically works for American oil and gas producers.
At 68? Exxon says they're profitable at 35.
Well, their best drilling locations are profitable at 35. And of course, Exxon's been around a long time and they have the best drilling locations. But absolutely, with increased deregulation, with increased removal of uncertainty and risk in our producers, that break-even price is going to keep going down.
Okay.
It's going to keep going down.
All right. Well, we always appreciate your time, Mr. Secretary. Thanks so much for coming back to America Reports.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, John.